Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, I'm Anna. I'm a little bit spooky and today we are visiting the planet of Arrakis with our makeup and drinking the water of life. We are doing some maybe Bene Gesserit realness over here, I don't know. I decided to do a Dune inspired look using groundwork from Dune and Lightworks 3 and a few other products. But I really wanted to channel that landscape of Arrakis on the eyes and face, and then have the pop of blue for the water of life. And yes, big floofy hair and some very Bene Gesserit-esque jewelry here. So if that interests you, just go ahead and keep on watching. Before you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below, let me know what you think of Dune, David Lynch's Dune, Dune Part 1, Dune Part 2, whichever, the book. Let me know your thoughts. And without further ado, we're gonna have some makeup playtime. Hello. Okay, let's do some Dune makeup. I gotta do it. I'm inspired. And I'm thinking about the beautiful color story within the movie. There's so many really pretty color stories for a desert planet that the movie's set mostly on. It's beautifully done. The cinematography of that movie is just breathtaking. And I was seeing some pictures going around on Facebook actually, showing like swatches and like the colors in the scenery. Anyways, I was inspired and I thought, you know what palette I could do a beautiful Dune-like look with? Groundwork. And yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna go kind of Arrakis themed with this. And maybe a pop of blue on the inner corner to symbolize the water of life. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna go ahead and get my eyes kind of primed. I've put down some actual primer, but I'm gonna take some of the sandstone shade here in the cream and just use that to kind of really blank out my lids a bit. And I'm not gonna do a crazy cut crease or anything today like I've done recently. I know I've been posting some a little more graphic and experimental looks. Anyways, I'm gonna take some of this just across the lid, kind of blank everything out a bit. Get a nice base to work off of. And the colors in this palette really do just lend themselves really well to what I'm thinking. We're probably going to use sandstone. I'm thinking desert and mirage definitely need to be in here. Maybe a bit of core and bark. Or maybe some of this one. I don't know. We're going to bounce around. We're going to see where it goes. But we're going to start with sandstone. And go ahead and get that on there. And smoothed out. And now I'm going to take a fluffy brush and take the powder version of sandstone. And just give that a little dust all over the lid. And the yellow base in this palette in this shade is going to definitely work to the advantage of the look. So we're leaning into some deserty tones here. Would you guys be into a Harkonnen themed look? Yeah, the bad guys. My husband said it would be kind of funny to do an unexpected thing to do as a Harkonnen theme. And I was thinking, I have that black eye gloss from Huda. I might have to do that. And if you're curious, I did use this palette in the brows today as well. But I've watched the original Dune. I've seen it a long time ago when I was a kid. And then like once I watched the director's cut as an adult. And I've now watched Dune Part 1 twice. And I'm waiting for Dune Part 2 to get on streaming so I can watch it again. I thoroughly enjoyed it and I'm so looking forward to 3. And the book is next on my reading list once I finish the current book I'm reading. Alright, now that we got that down, I'm gonna do what? I'm gonna take a blending brush. This is a Sigma. Actually, no, I'm gonna take the same brush, this big brush. And I'm gonna take some of the cream version of Mirage on the same brush and start to build that up all over here. These creams and powders do play well together, so don't worry about layering them. They layer really well. They're meant to work off one another. I'm really excited about the blushing one version of this palette. Called it. Did I not call that or what? And guess what? I have spoken to I've spoken to Danessa Marks twice now. Yeah, I'm very excited. She, like, in DMs. She is such a sweet human. Oh my goodness. I mean, seriously, what a wonderful lady. I'm obsessed with her. I'm absolutely obsessed with her. She's my new best friend now. So I guess you could say things are going pretty well. All right. It's a nice layer of that. Just kind of warm the lids and everything up. This whole space, I'm just going with a nice, like, kind of a sand tone. I just want a nice little wash of this color. Now I'm going to jump to Desert, which is one next door. It's a little bit of a deeper, or a different tone, rather. Pull some of that in through the socket. Oh yeah. Looking cool. And before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and run some of Sandstone on the lower lash line as a base, the cream. And build off of that too under there. Alright, and same thing, a little bit of Mirage. And I'm going in with this Precision Detail Blender. And some of Desert. Which is not quite as far over. So I have a calla lily plant. And I named it Shawnee. And then I got a pussy willow the other day. I didn't even know what the plant was called. It wasn't that kind of thing. If you're starting to giggle, honestly, I didn't even know that's what that plant was called. I just saw a beautiful plant and needed it in my life. And it turns out it's a tree. And it's a pussy willow. And named it Lady Jessica. So, and she is thriving. And I get to plant it outside next spring. Right now, she lives in her little pot and is indoors. And oh, she's thriving. She is thriving. And beautiful. And a little bit more Desert. I'm thinking this look should be very hazy and blended and blown out. Alright, I'm going to take a little bit of the powder version of Core on this same brush. And start building that in here. Just kind of painting today. It's one of those days where we're just painting, seeing where it goes. Taking some of Mirage onto the lid here. Letting that kind of blend up and out. And more Core. And have that coming in from this way. And coming down. I'm not worried about things being neat and tidy just yet, because we're just playing and blending still. Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of Harvest on the outer bit, start to kind of deepen that up. Blend. I'm going to grab a little flat brush so I can get to the lower lash line better with. Speaking of sci-fi, I spoke in a video the other day about Neuralink and how scary and exciting that is. And I mentioned about I need to go check and see how the first person to have Neuralink is doing. Well, they had a press conference the other day. And the man is thriving. He was, I believe, a quadriplegic. And with the Neuralink, he's able to use his mind to do things. He was sitting there during the press conference playing chess with his brain, with his mind, controlling everything on the screen. He stayed up and played like Civilization, he said, for like 8 hours straight, and just it's given him an aspect of life back and independence. It was very touching to watch and beautiful. And just, it got me in the feels, because like, as scary as the technology feels, seeing the beauty that can come from it, it's amazing. And I was so happy for him. Just the joy you could see that it was bringing him in his life. That's what makes me excited for that kind of technology. And he was so happy. And he said that it was 100% worth it. It's incredible. Okay, now we're at this point in the look. I'm going to move on to the powder versions. And I'm going to start with a bit of the powder version of Mirage. And start bringing that in. I love the process of layering these up and building. It's a lot of fun. I'm kind of sticking to the similar placement. Where I put these same colors coordinating, just putting the powder version on now. So Mirage is going to be the main one on the lid here. And blending out. Alright, I'm going to grab some of Desert. Right out here, that. Still with my big old fluffy brush. Alright, and then we'll take some Accor, bring a little warmth in. And then back to, I'm going to go to a smaller brush. It's like a detail blending from Sigma. And I'm going to take some of the powder core and come right in here. And then we'll take some Harvest on the same little brush. And come right out of here. A little bit of diffusing and blending and shaping. Do a little back and forth here. A little bit more of Mirage. And go back to my little flat brush. And can I repeat this on the lower lash line? I'm going to start with a bit of Mirage here. Bit of Core. And then Harvest. Harvest the Spice. Is this unintentionally kind of a Dune themed palette? Just a little bit. Where was the makeup collab for this movie? I would have bought it if there was. The memes are killing me. Like, oh my goodness, the memes. I'm loving them. I was terrified of the original when I was a kid. Oh my gosh, it used to scare me so bad. We had a VHS recording of it off of USA. Because that's what you did back in the day. When I was little. And on the same tape had Return of the Jedi, which is my favorite movie when I was, 4 years old, 3 years old. And I knew how to work the VCR at that age. And one time I put my VHS in and it was on the beginning of Dune and it was the Navigator and I screamed and ran from the room and cried because I did not like the way the Navigator looked and it scared me. And I did not watch Dune until I was like 20. Yeah. And you know what? That the Navigator still makes me uncomfortable. He's not in the new one, but they mention it. But it's not in it. It's pretty disturbing. In the David Lynch one. I think Timothée Chalamet is fantastic in the role, though. Took a little bit of powder sandstone. Like he fits it. He plays the part well. And Zendaya Shani, love it. I like that the characters feel more dynamic in the movie in the new movie than they did in the older one. Like, to me, there's just more. They're more well-rounded. And it's such a huge story. I think it was hard to kind of fit it all in the original movie. Even with the director's cut, there's so much. I think they've been able to put a little more nuance into the new ones. Now, I haven't read the books, so I can't really elaborate too terribly much there on the accuracy. But so far, I quite like it, what I'm seeing. All right, I'm going to take a little pencil, Take a little tiny liner brush. I meant to look for another one of these ones in Ulta the other day. And I'm going to go into the cream black and do a little lining. I should probably get closer to the mirror for this. I should bring this kind of straight out. The soundtrack. Oh my goodness, the audio and music alone is a masterpiece though. I wanted one of the popcorn buckets so bad, and you know I wanted it for the meme. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm mature about that part. I played like I didn't want it for any other reason. It made me laugh. And yes, I am a bit of a 13-year-old boy at times, mentally. Similar interests.
I'm gonna go run to why not stop.
All right, baby.
Get strawberries.
Do my eyes look like Arrakis?
I didn't look.
Well, come look.
Deserty.
So I just went and had a snack break. Let's get back to this. Look. Where were we? Liner. We're working on some liner. Alright, so I'm going to join the liner up on this lower lash line here. Now I'm going to pull it from underneath. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to keep the liner straight out and let it be smoky on the underside. And we'll come back and perfect that momentarily. I'm going to do a little bit more harvest right out here. Just doing a little back and forth here. I'm going to sit over the black with the powder version of tourmaline. I'm taking some of Harvest on this liner brush. A bit more of that under here. Bring in some of the black right into this inner corner. I'm going to pull that right on the tear duct. Create a little point. Sit over that with the powder. Okay, just finessing that liner right there. So what I'm going to do now is move on and do the rest of my complexion. I'm just going to put my foundation on, clean up any little edges, and do concealer and all that. I'll be back for the rest of the face and to finish things up. So I'll see you in just a second. Actually, I'm going to film this part. I'm just going to speed it up so you can just kind of see what I do in between here. But I just wiped this off. So, you know, might as well leave this in, but we'll just blast through it really, really quickly. And I'll just show you kind of what I'm putting on the face as we go. Alright, before I set everything out with powder, I am going to do a little cream contouring with the Groundwork palette. So I'm going to take a dual-ended complexion brush from e.l.f. And I'm going to start with the shade Stone. I'm using a little small side. I'm going to do kind of a dramatic contour. And really follow my bone structure here, which does that naturally. And then I'm going to diffuse it up. Alright, and then on the forehead, I'm going to go into the shade Chiseled, which is a bit warmer. tap a little bit here. A little more warmth in. Now I'm going to take some of Mirage. Treating this more as a bronzer shade. And now I'm going to grab some of Core. Treating this more as a blush placement. And I'm going to throw just a tiny bit of Harvest in. Just back here. And I'm going to set everything down with a little bit of powder. I'm just going to use Fit Me loose setting powder for this. Okay, let's jump back over to the eyes now and then kind of fix and finish them up. I'm just going to grab my biggest fluffy brush real quick and I'm going to clean it. No extra product, just blending. And bring some of that blend back. Grab a little bit of sandstone. And do a touch of Core. And really blend that out towards the temples. Then some of Mirage. Back to the E25. I'm going to grab a little more Core on this. And then a touch of Harvest. Right, back to the lower lash line. Taking Mirage. Kind of blending that down fairly low. Then a bit of Harvest. Right, and then we'll go into Tourmaline. Just doing some back and forth blending. All right, now I'm jump back over to the face quickly. I'm gonna grab some of the powder version of Stone. Just clean this little elf brush off. We'll do a little of the powder version of Core. And I'm blending right out here, merging all that kind of together. Do a little bit of Mirage. Alright, that's diffusing nicely. More Mirage right out here. We're looking deserty. Pale but deserty. What happens when you put a ginger on Arrakis? Well, I would be sunburned real bad. Should have gone for a sunburn look. Been more accurate. Back to the liner for a second. Just to re-establish that good. Looks like we need some fairly distinct liner. I don't know. Seems right. I'm going to take some of the cream version of Harvest and use this to line the lips. And we take some of Core, the cream version. Alright, so now I'm going to jump to this little Natasha Denona palette right here. I'm going to take some of this blue. It's just kind of a cobalt blue. And I'm going to just do a little bit of that right here below the tear duct. Just a line of it. And we'll see how this goes. So take it on my little liner brush. Not quite what I was hoping for. But I think if we jump over to this Lightworks 3 palette, we can take some of the shade called Martian. And that'll add some pizzazz. So I'm going to take some Martian on this liner brush, and I'm going to spritz it with some setting spray. And then right there. Okay, now I think that's reading a little too green. Take up a little bit of Galaxy Next Door. There we go. Jump back to Natasha Denona. It's the mini trichrome palette. It's more of that blue. So I want the blue to definitely look electric. Pick up some of that Galaxy shade. This one right here, I'm going to kind of mix between that one and Martian. So my Galaxy spritz. I'm layering a little bit of Martian over top. Alright, now I'm going to neaten that up a little bit with a clean liner brush and a bit of concealer. And of course this blue is representing the water of life. None of this is going to make sense to you unless you've watched Dune. This is for my nerds out there. My sci-fi nerds. Like myself. Okay. Alright, I'm going to throw on some mascara and we'll be back with the look all put together and finished. See you in just a second. Threw some mascara on and touched up my brows. Decided to make them a little more dramatic to go with the look. But I thought real quick, I'm going to throw some MAC Warm Soul on the cheeks because I'm feeling kind of a little washed out. Even though I know this is more of a artsy fartsy look here, I still don't want to look like this ghostly, you know? So I'll do a little more something on the cheeks here. So I think a little Warm Soul. Kind of pull it together. And then I'm going to take my Melt Digital Dust Blush, Queen Bee. Use this for a little bronzing. And that brings in a little bit of glow as well. Just wanted to throw that in real quick and be right back. Alright. And here is our finished Dune inspired look. We got the hair zhuzhed out, add some accessories. These felt very Lady Jessica-ish, very Bene Gesserit. So here's the finished look using Groundwork and Lightworks and a couple other products thrown in. I wanted to pull inspiration from the landscape of Arrakis and the water of life with the blue. And yeah, I think it came out really pretty. It is actually kind of wearable. Even though I was thinking I was get a little more creative with it. But now that everything's kind of come together, I'm like, oh, it's actually just a really pretty look. And yeah. I threw some gloss on, by the way. So yeah, that kind of tied it all together. So yeah, thank you for hanging out with me today and talking about Dune with me. And Neuralink again. I'm kind of fascinated. We should do like a monthly sci-fi video where you just talk about new tech advancements and cool sci-fi movies and just all that kind of stuff. Let me know if that's something that would interest you, because it interests me. I can pull some cool science stories that have been in the news recently. We can just chat about them. Yeah, alright. Anyway, finished look. Thank you for hanging out with me. Let me know your thoughts down below. Have you seen the new Dune Part 2 and Part 1? Have you seen Part 1? Have you seen the original? What do you think of David Lynch's Dune? What do you think of David Lynch in general? I watch every one of his movies. Like, I've seen almost all of them. And Twin Peaks. Do I understand any of it? Not really. I think Dune was the one I understood the most. So, there's that. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe, stay spooky, stay safe, stay spooky. Bye now.